Let it rip.
Hello, guys. Well, an update on this KTM 300. You saw the frame and all that. Well, we got a few more things added to it. We did airbox is installed. It's got we got to do some tweaking here. The side plates that fit on it, the factory ones mount here. The replacements that I got mount where these blue dots are, so I'm gonna have to do some drilling and add some rib nuts, but that's not that big of a deal. I got the radiators installed. Got all the mounts. I had to make some backing washers out of Delrin and stuff, but that's not a big deal. And then I made these retainer plates that hold the rib nuts that mount the shrouds when that's all together. So these things are pretty much in. This one here is missing a, I didn't notice this at first, but I found it when I was putting it together. The tab's broken off, but that's not a crazy big deal. I tightened up the headset, put on the bar mounts, put on these bars without, they're the fat bars.
Fat bars.
Fat bars, but they required adapters to fit the stock stuff. So, because the original ones used 7/8 bars, and so the fat bars are a little bit bigger, so they needed the. But it's actually a good thing because it raises them up a little bit.
Gotcha.
It's going to make a better riding position. It's a little bit taller.
Regulator?
The regulator, yeah, I got a. This is a factory regulator. I think I might move it actually. If I want to see if it'll fit over here, or maybe up here, and I want it out of the way a little bit more, maybe. I'm not sure. It's there. The bike did not come with one, so this is something that I'm adding. The harness for the bike does have the ability to use it, so I figure I might as well use it. I don't know that I'm going to have a headlight. I probably won't. Probably no headlight, but I definitely going to have something here that's going to be a display of some sort for speed, hours, kind of like what was on the 620.
An instrument cluster.
Yeah, kind of. Something to tell me what's going on.
And what's going on with these two tanks? You got two tanks.
Well, we got tanks. This is the one that came with the bike. And I cleaned it up and was going to use it and found that there's cracks in it, and repairing them doesn't seem to want to work very well. And I don't know, I'm not sure exactly why. I did a bunch of stuff to try to seal them up. I did find a kit that costs about 50 bucks that has been said that seals this stuff, but I'm like, yeah, you know, I don't know. Spend just a tiny bit more and I can get a whole new tank.
That one looks bigger.
It is bigger.
Wow.
There was an option. There's two tanks that were, in fact, this is a factory tank. It was actually made in 7 of 90.
Perfect.
So this one was made in 9 of 90. So
that one's got more experienced. It's got more riding on it.
2 months. What this does is, this is like, I think it's 11.5 liters versus 9.
Oh, that's good. That'll get you home.
So this is like 3.3 or
now
gallons.
how is that going to affect your reserve? The reserve comes from the bottom, right?
Well, it's all
yeah, but the reserve, okay, it comes from the bottom, so it's, yeah, bitchin'. So it's going to be all usable. Perfect.
Oh yeah, you're gonna be able to use everything.
Yep, perfect.
So it's just a bigger tank. It was not, see, this bike originally was I think designated an MX, which it obviously is just that MX. It wasn't meant for going, you know, enduro stuff for distance, but the enduro tank's available. So
Yeah. And now how about the exhaust? You got exhaust there. Looks pretty complete right there.
that it was, well, this, what I bought was this. I bought the subframe,
the longer sub and the exhaust.
with the exhaust, thinking I was going to use, because this goes here, and then this exhaust would go like
so.
that and mount, and there's two mounts, and there we go, right?
Yeah.
Well, this exhaust, or this subframe, doesn't work real well with this.
The plastics.
The rear fender and stuff. So I'm like, well, this one works better with it. So what we did was we went and bought another exhaust.
Oh, and it's
That is a single. It's got a single mount. So the single mount, this is the way it goes, and then there's the piece that goes out. It's all apart now because it's got to be rebuilt, but it's a single mount, and it'll just sit like that.
okay. Very
With
factory
the
looking.
single mount.
Yep.
And so it'll work with this stuff, and we don't have to screw with any of the double mount and the longs thing and all that good stuff. And it's still a spark cluster.
Perfect.
So it's going to work for the off-road deal.
Perfect.
And also the brake issue, the front brake issue, I was going to run, this is what came with it, was this Magura deal, and this is the master for it. And what I found was that, well, when I took it apart, it's like all rusty inside.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, I don't know about that. And the levers broke, and I went to start finding parts for this thing. I'm like, all right, this shouldn't be too tough, right? Yeah. They're tougher than you'd think. I did find a lever. I think they were in Italy or something, maybe.
Yep.
I'm not sure where. They're about $60 plus shipping just for the lever. I'm like, you know, having a lever that difficult to get, not real good. And so I went and bought, this is from a 98, I think a 300, something like that.
That's that dual piston Brembo.
It is. The whole thing, I think it was shipped to me for less than $100. So, and it works. I filled it with fluid. It's fully functional. I've got the new pads for it. So I figured that's going to take care of, and the levers are readily available as well. So I figured, why not just, in this one, you know, there's nothing wrong with it, so I don't even have to replace it.
And what about those pegs? Are those pegs special?
They are not factory. These are aftermarket pegs. They're Pro Circuit. I think these things were actually on, I want to say I got them for when I had the 95 300 way back when, but I can't remember exactly why I took them off or didn't use them or whatever, but these things are like,
oh yeah, that looks great.
I had them in my box, and I'm like, well, yeah, let's use them. Why not?
So what's the update on the motor?
The update on the motor is we really haven't, I don't know yet, honestly.
Okay.
What I did with the motor, I don't know if we talked about, there was a problem with the cylinder and we had to have the cylinder replated, and I took that in about a little over a month ago. I think it was in late May. that I took that in. Well, these guys also do vapor honing and Cerakote. So I took the case, all the little bits that go with the case, the covers and all that stuff, to them, along with a pipe, because the pipe had dents in it. They're gonna take all the dents out of the pipe. They're gonna vapor hone the whole motor, everything, all the pieces. They're gonna Cerakote the all the covers.
Yeah.
They're gonna look pretty trick when that's done. I'm hoping to get an update this week.
Okay. So no update on the motor yet.
No update. This rear chain guide. This is the guide. This up here was the chain guide.
Oh yeah.
From France.
France.
Finally got that in, and that fits beautifully. That's actually what I found is, I think it's from M46 Parts. They're an outfit in France that does repro stuff for old vintage bikes.
Bitchin'. Let's close out on the shock.
So the shock, I mean the
Strut. The fork.
The fork.
The fork.
Well, the shock itself, I'm waiting on update from that too, because that thing's been in there a month, almost a month.
Yeah.
So I'm waiting for that. The fork. So I got some seals from Power Sports. She ordered them, said, yep, these are the ones. They said, yep, they're the right ones. I'm like, okay, great. And thought, yeah, okay. Got some fluid and stuff. Let me tear one apart. So I take the whole thing apart. And pull the seal out, and lo and behold, the new seals don't fit. So I was like, all right.
On hold for seals.
So I took them back, and she's like, that's not going to happen. So I went online, and I found seals in the U.S. And they're on order. They're about half the cost of the original ones, the ones that I got before. And yeah, we're just waiting.
And that's one of the things we're going to try to video. We're going to try to video the rebuild
I got
of
this
the forks.
one apart, so I know how to do it. So we can, when we do the other one, which is right here.
Yep. This side up.
This side up. Upside down. So when we do that, then we can do that. And then the wheels, yeah, I got the tires taken off, and I got bearings for them, and they need to be cleaned and bearings put in them, and make sure everything's kosher, and then we'll go from there.
Perfect.
So we're good.
Yep. Shut her down.